Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Access to Capital, the Bridge platform. I'm Rebecca Chauncey, a business advisor here at the Illinois Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, at Build Bronzeville. We're so happy to have you join us today, and I look forward to introducing you, to our presenters momentarily. This session is brought to you at no cost because it's funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the United States Small Business Administration, or the USSBA, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and the Urban Juncture Foundation. Today, if you have questions, please be sure to type them in the Q&A section only, which you will see if you hover over the bottom of your screen. There's the Q&A section on your panel. Click there if you have questions. If the questions are relevant in the moment, I will share them with today's presenters. And then there's also the possibility of, depending on what you ask, I may be able to address it in real time, just responding to your message. And then finally, there will be time for Q&A at the end of today's training. So without further ado, I'm so pleased to pass the mic on, if you will, to today's presenters. And that includes Caitlin and Adriana. And they will talk to you about the Bridge platform and tell you more about themselves in a moment.
Awesome. Thanks, Rebecca. I could kick it off if that works, Adriana. It's great to meet everyone. My name is Caitlin Boyle. My background is in commercial banking. I worked at Citibank for numerous years, and now I am a vice president on a platform called Bridge. And what we do is we work closely with business owners just like yourself and lenders just like Adriana to make sure that we get you the access to capital or the funding that you need to help grow your business. So today I'll be walking through what the platform does and how to use it if you are looking for capital today. But I'm really excited to talk to you guys and see what questions can be answered. We have a lot of time today to answer any specific questions that you have, so please feel free to ask anything. And I'll pass it over to Adriana.
Thank you, Caitlin. Well, it's very nice to be with everyone. Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, Caitlin, for this opportunity. My name is Adriana Aidis, and I'm the Vice President, Sales and Partnerships for Acción Opportunity Fund. We are a nonprofit lender, a community development financial institution. We provide capital, working capital, educational tools, and resources to small businesses across the nation. And we're very proud of being part of Bridge and being able to participate in finding ways to access, to provide access to capital to so many small businesses. So again, happy to be here and happy also to respond to any questions.
Awesome. So I think before we get started, my main goal was to talk about what the Bridge platform is and how we can help all of you. And if you are looking for capital today, but I think it would be helpful to take a step back and to really understand what a CDFI is that Adriana works for and how they can be very helpful to the community. So Adriana, I may pass it back over to you and ask you to explain to the group a little bit more about a CDFI, how that's different than a traditional bank that many of the group may be aware of, and what a CDFI can offer business owners.
For sure. Thank you for that opportunity. A CDFI, as I mentioned, is a community development financial institution. And by being a CDFI, we actually have a mission and certain requirements that we need to comply with to continue to maintain our status as a community development financial institution. In our case, and every CDFI is different, but in our case, 60% of the lending that we do today needs to go to Black entrepreneurs, Hispanic, and women, and in particular, low and moderate income small business owners. So that is the impact that we need to make sure that we deliver. The difference between a CDFI and other lending institutions traditional banks or even fintechs, online digital fintechs, is that because we are a CDFI that is also a nonprofit, we have flexibility in the way that we look at small business applications, and also how we look at these businesses when they start uploading their documents. We always follow the 4 C's, character and collateral and cash flow and capacity, but we as a nonprofit tend to always look more and lean more on character and cash flow. It's extremely important for us to make sure that when we're providing capital to a small business, we're not adding burden to that small business. So we really, really look at that cash flow to make sure that that small business will be able to pay back. And that way also, with that payment coming back to our organization, that's more capital that goes out to another small business needing capital. So there's flexibility in the way that we look at loans. There's flexibility in also our pricing, and also there's a lot of resources that we provide, educational resources that we provide to help businesses not only scale and also get ready, be loan ready to be able to apply with us or with anyone else, but also tools that they need to make sure that they're building a solid ground for their business.
Thank you, Adriana. That was really helpful. And 2 more questions. In terms of deals that Axiom looks at, I understand the mission behind all of those deals, but is there a specific size or type of loan, just so everyone on the call understands exactly what your institution is looking at?
Of course. Our loans go from $5,000 to $250,000. And most of our loans tend to be around 30, 40. That's sort of our average. Because we've been around, which I forgot to mention, we've been around for 30 years, so it's been a long time. A lot of businesses know us, even though we really don't market ourselves too much, and everybody says, you're sort of the best kept secret. And I think a lot of us CDFIs are that best kept secret, because we actually try to avoid spending money in marketing so that we can put that money into the pockets of small businesses that need it most. So again, from 5,000 to 250,000, our loans are term loans, so that we provide an opportunity for the business to choose what is the best term for them. Is it 12 months, 24, 36, or 60 months? Our interest rates start at 7.49%, and it depends obviously on the loan and the documents that are being reviewed by our underwriting team, what that final rate will be. But that is the starting point, and obviously we've all had to adjust our rates based on the adjustments of the Feds.
Awesome. And Adriana, I'm going to speak about this a little bit later, but can you talk a little bit about the specific documents that you just spoke about that your team would be looking for when they're underwriting a loan? Obviously, you don't have to go into every single one, but some documents that business owners should start preparing when they are starting to look for that initial funding.
Definitely. And that is really an important question, because what I see a lot, and I think a lot of us do, is that small businesses need to be able to be ready to apply. And being loan ready means, like Caitlin mentions, having all their documents at hand. I think the greatest frustration that small businesses go through when they're searching for capital is starting an application and realizing that we're requesting these things that we need to review, and they don't have them at hand, or they don't know where they are. And so then they step away and then they just move on. And we believe that it is so, so critically important to make sure that we do have all these documents. It allows all small business owners to continue to grow. For us, it's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. We ask that whoever is applying for capital for a term loan to own at least 20% of the business. We require that business owner to upload. We have a digital portal, so everything will be uploaded and very simple and seamless, just like Bridge. We request business return, tax returns for the business. Also personal tax returns. We request 3 months most recent bank statements so that we can look at the cash flow, and then a government ID. So it's very simple, but those are the documents that are important. And sometimes it might happen that our underwriting team looks at the documentation and feels that, you know, they're indecisive based on maybe some of the cash flow, because they're not seeing the cash flow of the business completely there to be able to approve a loan. So they may come back and ask for further documentations just to, again, to complement the documents that were already uploaded to give a higher probability of approval.
Rebecca, I know we weren't supposed to take questions, but I see someone raise their hand. Should we pause or should we wait till the end?
Yes, that
Or should we have them put in the Q&A?
that would be great if you can, but it may be, oh, okay. The
Oh, okay, I
question
see
is,
one.
okay, you got it.
Yeah, so Adriana, can you talk more about startups and how Axion works with startups, and then I can answer in terms of Bridge?
Sure. We do not work specifically with startups. Our minimum is a year in business. And it's just the model that we've created. We believe that we'd love to be able to help everyone. And I think that the structure that we've created for our underwriting requires at least a year, because again, it goes back to the cash flow. That having said that, you know, there are obviously some exceptions that do occur. I think we've all learned to do a lot, to be very flexible after these years with COVID, right? Where businesses had to pivot, and those businesses suddenly found themselves having to reinvent themselves. But I know that there are a lot of CDFIs that do work specifically with startups, but in our case, we don't.
Yeah, and I can just talk about that a little bit. So I know I haven't given a full overview of Bridge, but basically our mission, it's an online website that helps connect business owners like yourself with different lenders. Adriana and her team are on our platform. They're one of the lenders that we work very closely with. And once you submit our RFP, which is a request for proposal, on our site, which is just, you know, high level information about what you're looking to do, various lenders can see if they're interested and respond with high level interest on our site. Now, some of the lenders that we do work with startups. So, you know, obviously you have to have a business plan. You have to have some sort of background in the industry. And if you do, then that makes lenders a little bit more comfortable. But there is also an SBA startup loan that some SBA lenders will work with you on. So we work with a few SBA lenders that work exclusively on that. So that's another option. So we have various partners that will work on startup loans. But Adrian, I didn't want to take away. I had one more question for you, and then I can go into more details on Bridge.
Of course.
And I know I always ask you this question, but can you tell the whole entire group about one success story about the team, and you know, highlight what has happened in the past few months that was exciting throughout Axion?
Throughout the organization, or specifically with the?
I would say one specific success story. So one specific deal that, you know, you could highlight.
Oh my goodness.
And I know it's always a very hard.
It definitely is hard. You know, we have a lot of success stories, but we have one in particular. You know, we do a lot of lending in many different ways. Obviously, Bridge is really important for us to be able to access these small businesses. We have a lot of partnerships with organizations that offer grants as well. But we had a case in particular where there was a marketing agency, a marketing consulting agency, and as difficult as that type of business is, they had been trying to get capital to be able to hire more employees, to be able to market themselves in certain industries. And again, because of the type of vertical, the type of industry that they're in, they just kept finding all these doors closed. And through one of the programs, one of the educational programs and cohorts, they found out about Action Opportunity Fund. And now that I recall, they specifically marketed and supported as a consulting company for restaurants. And so they found us through an organization, through an event that we had with DoorDash that was focused specifically for restaurant and small business owners. And they came and they, I think her name was Shaneka, and she just first went and had a session with one of our coaches, because that is something also that Action Opportunity Fund offers, is one-on-one coaching for small businesses for free. You don't have to be an AOF, an Action Opportunity Fund client or borrower. So she went through that coaching to make sure that she had everything that she needed before she applied, and she applied with us, and we were able to fund capital so that she could actually invest that money and start to market. She added 1 or 2 or more employees into her consulting firm. And again, really exciting work that she does. And she was thrilled because she had been trying to find capital for the last almost 12 months.
That's incredible. And I know there are various more success stories
Oh my
throughout
gosh,
the
yeah.
organization.
I should have had more. I should have had more prepared, but I will next time.
I know I could have you talk about them for days. But that's just something to highlight to the group that, you know, as you continue to work with various lenders, it could be Action, it could be another organization out there. We all have the same mission to try to get you guys the access to capital that you need. And we're all rooting for you. So we want to make sure that at the end of the day, you're getting exactly what you're looking for to grow your business. So why don't I take a step back and just explain a little bit about what Bridge is, and then I'll walk through the demo and I'll have Adriana chime in on exactly, you know, what her team looks at and, you know, how we look at things on Bridge. But, you know, as I stated before, our main mission on Bridge is to connect business owners, just like all of you, with local and community lenders throughout the United States. We have CDFIs on our platform. We have local and community banks. We have regional banks. And we have some alternative lenders as well that we work with. This idea came about with our 2 co-founders that used to work in the commercial banking space and saw that there was really a gap in the smaller business space with, you know, everyone came to the larger banks like Citibank, Chase, when they needed a loan that was of larger size, and really in the smaller business space, there wasn't anywhere to go to compare different options. You could go into Chase and say, I'm looking for a loan, and they could decline you, and then you would have to walk into another bank and walk into another bank. So there really wasn't an online platform that could do that. So they created this to try to, you know, alleviate some of that pressure and have you come to one spot, fill in all your information, and connect with various different options to provide you with the capital that you need. So as I was explaining before, the way that the platform works, it's very simple, and I will show you guys the demo in a few minutes, is that you'll fill in information about your business, what you're looking to do if you're a startup, what your business plan says, what you're looking to accomplish in the next few months. We have for high-level information about your business, high-level financial details, and high-level information about the loan that you're looking to fund. Once you submit that on the site, then all of our lenders, we have around 70 lenders on our platform, can take a look at that information and see if they're interested in moving forward. If they're interested in moving forward, then they can respond with high-level interest on our site. Once they respond with high-level interest, then you will get an automatic email that says, congrats, Axion is interested in working with you. And then once you get that email, then you can decide if you want to move forward with that lender or not. You would connect with them in the platform if you're interested in moving forward. And then we connect you directly with a lender. For example, we'll connect you with Adriana's team to move forward in the process. So that's high level how it works. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of how it works. You can submit multiple requests on our site, so it's pretty easy to use. But I'm going to go through a demo just to make sure everything makes sense. And please feel free, as I said, to ask questions in the Q&A as I go through everything. Let me share my screen. Just bear with me for 1 second and it's going to show up. Okay. Adriana, just give me a thumbs up if you can see the home page, because all I can see is you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is our home page. You would come to bridgebuildbycity.com and you would see this. And if you're ready to get started and submit a request, it would bring you to this page. How much are you looking to borrow? Now, this is a great question that I'm gonna take over to Adriana and say, when a customer is looking for financing, what do you request that they put in if they're not sure how much they should be requesting?
Oh, I think that, that's a difficult question because
Yeah, I know it's a hard one.
it's a hard one because, I think that as a business owner, as a small business owner, we all think that we need X amount of capital. But the reality is that we might not be able to obtain that amount, right? Because of our cash flow. And again, it goes back to what can we actually pay back? So I think, and my recommendation is for us to be conservative, to be honest with looking at, what's your debt? How much revenue are you generating? Revenue is key for all of this, right? How much is the business generating? So again, I caution everybody to be mindful and to be conservative in what they ask. If when you present the documents and that lender that chose your application is able to provide you with more capital, that lender will offer that to you. So it's better that than for you to, for example, request 100,000 and the lender comes back saying they can only lend you 20,000, because I know that feeling of frustration makes you want to walk away. But I think that there's a reason why the lender offered that.
That is exactly what I was going to say. And I think it's very important for lenders to feel comfortable with how much you're looking to borrow based on how much you have. So if you have collateral in the business, so if you have, say you have a warehouse or you have accounts receivable that are coming in every month from an existing customer, then that will make a lender a little bit more comfortable. So I think it's very important, as Adriana said, to take a look at your financials before you fill in exactly how much you're looking for, and to always be conservative, because this just leads to a further conversation with the lender. So say you're doing a company acquisition and you know the purchase price is $500,000. So let's just fill that in. You know it. You are going to pick on company acquisition, and this is our testing environment, so it's going to make me fill in certain things. So just bear with me. So you pick the right option for you. Then underneath that, we ask you to describe the purpose of the loan. So we are looking to acquire a business in New Jersey that creates women's clothing. Fill in as much information as possible in the description, because this will give lenders a full picture of exactly what you're doing and what you're looking for. We are expanding our services to also offer men's clothing. So once you're done with that, you would hit continue, and it would ask you what type of loan you're looking for. Now, we totally understand that sometimes you're not sure at this point in time what exactly you're looking for. You may need to discuss further with the lender. Mortgage is pretty specific, so you would probably know at that point in time. But between term loan and line of credit, if you are unsure at this point in time, you could always hit I'm not sure. If you know exactly what you're looking for, if you've been funded in the past, you could click on which one would be the best fit. I'm going to hit a term loan. You would fill in your first name and your last name here, and your phone number to move forward in the process. We do have a 2-factor authentication. So what that means is every time you log into the portal, it will send you a text message or give you a call, and it will make you enter in a few numbers just to move forward in the platform, just to make sure all your information is secure. Once you hit continue, it will make you set up an email address and a password. Just make sure, with the typical password, at least one number, at least one letter, 8 characters, and no repeats. And once you hit continue from there, then we always like to know how you found out about us. We do have a drop down in here that says SBDC. So if you tend to submit this after we get off the phone, please let us know, because we obviously want to let Rebecca know that you came to us through her, and report that back to our partners. So once you hit continue from there, we do have a QuickBooks plugin. So if you have a QuickBooks account, then you can automatically just hit this button and pull in all your financial information from QuickBooks. If you do not, then you would hit continue without QuickBooks. Now we ask for a few further pieces of information that I'll show you guys at the end, but I'm just going to run through high level some more pieces of information that we ask for here. Legal name of your business. That should be pretty straightforward. If you have a DBA name, you can also put that in here. Primary address, where you're located. If you do not have a primary address yet, you can put in where you're located, where you're working, and then I would just make sure that you notate in the purpose or in another free-form text box that you do not have a primary office space, just so that the lender knows that when they're moving forward and having a conversation with you. So some of the other information that I didn't get a chance to run through, just because this, as I said, this is our testing environment. So when was it founded? Give us a high level details of when the company was founded. Industry, we have drop down so you can pick out of various different industries. Number of employees, so how many employees that are a part of the company. We ask for financial statement type. So if it's company prepared, if you have audited statements, based on your accountant that you're working with. And then we do ask for financial information for the last 3 years. So revenue, net income for the past 3 years, unless your loan request size is over $1 million. Then we only ask for 1 year of revenue, net income. And then the last few pieces of information are credit score. So we ask for a range of your credit score, just to give the lender high level information. This is not a poll by any means. It's just an inputted number. We will not be pulling your credit until the lender lets you know that they are pulling your credit further in the process. And then we ask for high level balance sheet items. So assets, liabilities, net worth, and then we ask for inventory, accounts receivable, and cash. You also have the ability to exclude any lenders on our site from seeing this information. So if you are working with an existing lender, you can always put that in here so that they cannot see it. Other than that, then you just hit submit, and then it will go into our portal, and then every lender on our platform can see it, and then they will move forward from there and respond back to you with high level interest if they're interested in moving forward. I will show you one more thing once we hit submit. We also have a due diligence portal, so you can submit financial statements into this portal so that the lenders can just collect them very quickly, so that you're not sending an email to 3 or 4 different lenders with all your financial information. So you can just quickly upload, choose a file here, and upload them to our site. And then the last thing that I'll mention, and then I'll pause since I've been talking for a while, is you can actually start a new RFP on our site. So if you have 2 different business ventures, if you're doing a company acquisition and then you want to do like a mortgage on an existing property that you have for a business, you can log into your account and then you can just hit start new RFP, and that will bring you to start a new RFP and the exact same process just for a new business on here. And then you hit confirm. And then that's about it. So I'm going to pause. I think there's a question, Rebecca, and then I'll see if anyone else has any questions.
Yes, you can see the question, or would you like me to read it and then? you or Adriana will respond.
So I can answer from Bridge, and then I think Adriana should also answer just based off of Axion. So
Okay, thank you.
of course. I think that, you know, this is definitely something that you can submit on the portal if you have all your information. Feel free to submit any response on the portal. One thing that we do request is that, you know, we have some lenders that will work with startups, not a ton. So we always ask if your business is over a year in business, then you'll typically get more responses on the platform. We do ask to make sure that you have documentation. So you have the normal documentation that Adriana mentioned in the beginning of the call, balance sheet, income statement, debt schedule, because most lenders are going to ask for that information. And that you're, you know, ready and willing and able to move forward, then absolutely submit on the platform and we can try to get you connected to the right lender. Those are the only requests that we have before moving forward. But Adriana, I'll pass it over to you and see if you have any more comments about Axion.
Sure. I think the most important thing, because I'm reading the question here, is the transformation, right? So I think that's wonderful. I think one of the characteristics of all small business owners is being creative and finding new ways to continue to grow the business. So this is a perfect example. To Caitlin's point, the most important thing here is that does and has the pool company as a service generated revenue, and what level of revenue has it generated? Because that is what is going to allow you to find the right lender. For example, our minimum revenue today is $50,000 in a year. So that is one of the minimum criteria, right? The other question that you should ask yourself is, do I know where my FICO credit is like right now? Or have I been delinquent? Have I had bankruptcies? All those things, you know, will come up and are important to keep in mind. But I think either the platform or going direct with Action Opportunity Fund or any other CDFI is, I think, the best option for you to be able to apply.
Absolutely. And one more thing that you reminded me to mention, Adriana, is that the platform does have a minimum of $100,000 for revenue. So if you are looking to move forward on the platform, then I would say you need to have $100,000 in revenue to in your existing business to move forward and submit a request. Obviously, as Adriana said, theirs is a tiny bit lower than ours, so it's always good to, you know, check various different options. We made that when we created our platform before we actually had any CDFIs on the platform. We started with only banks, and then we learned very quickly that we needed to expand and include CDFIs. So I'm not saying that, you know, we obviously have Adriana, we have other CDFIs on our platform, but if you are under $100,000 and you want to submit, just make sure that you notate that, you know, the financials are in one of the free-form text boxes. These are the actual financials, so that all of our lenders are aware of it. I guess we can open it up now to any questions. I know this was a little bit quicker than an hour, but the demo is actually pretty straightforward, so it doesn't take a ton of time. And then anything else that, Adriana, if you have anything else to add, or Rebecca, you have any other questions for us?
I think one thing I do want to add, and this is just something that I firmly believe in for small businesses, don't wait until you need the capital. You know, because when you need the capital, that's when you go out and you're desperate for capital. And if a transparent lender, for whatever reason, doesn't approve you, then we go out and fall into these predatory hands. And that's what we need to be careful about. So make sure that as you drive your business, you have all the tools, all the resources, that you continue to search for more education to build your business, and have all your documents. Make sure you don't commingle funds. You know, we tend to also go into our personal funds to be able to subsidize our businesses. It's always best to separate. But again, most importantly, you know, don't wait until that time that you need the capital.
I'm so glad you've made that point, Adriana, because that is crucial. We have definitely echoed that point with clients in the past, and I'm glad you brought it up today. One question I have, perhaps for the both of you, is how can the Bridge platform, or maybe let me rephrase it, can the Bridge platform be a good source for capital for those solopreneurs, or the business owners that they're a one-person shop, right? In particular, if they are in service industries. For example, I have a client who is a mental health therapist, and I wonder if this platform could be a potential source of revenue for her. I know that she's got some growing the business to do to get to that $100,000 revenue level. But once she gets to that point, or another business owner with a similar service-based business gets to that point, would you recommend that they use Bridge as a potential source of funding?
I would say absolutely. I would say we open the platform up to everyone. If you're a one-man shop, if you're a 1,500 person corporation, that's why we have 70 lenders on the platform, because each lender is different and specializes in something different. We have, a few handful of CDFIs on the platform. We have a few community and local banks, and then we have a few alternative lenders. We have a few regional, but not large overlaps, because we wanted to make sure that we could cater to every type of business owner. I would say with that, though, that we need to see all the information that both Adriana and I have mentioned, which is that the financials, just to get a clearer picture of where we would connect them to, and if we have that direct lender, because if they are continuing to grow, if they're looking for a smaller size loan, then we have some alternative partners. Maybe it is a good fit for a CDFI if they're looking for a smaller loan, but if they're looking for, say, a larger one, then maybe we connect them to a bank. So I'd say it's, the platform's open to everyone, and I am always open to opening it up to just about anyone. It's just making sure that we have the right information to find out who is the best connection for them.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think that's it's about that revenue threshold. So as soon as Rebecca, that business owner, has that revenue threshold, I think it's a great idea for them to go onto the platform, because the platform is created on purpose to find the right lender for you. And all of us lenders go in, and for example, we would go in and we see that person is a sole prop. Well, we do a lot of sole props. Most of our businesses are sole prop. So we're going to be able to say, okay, this is a perfect fit. This is the profile of small business that we believe that we can help. So I agree that they should, when they get to that place, they should go into the platform.
Thank you both. I so appreciate that. And everyone, we still, as you have heard, we're now in that space for Q&A. So I don't see additional questions in the Q&A section. If it's easier for you at this time to raise your hand, please do so, and I will give you access to say your question aloud before we disconnect. I know that there was a wealth of knowledge shared today, and so hopefully you've taken really great notes. And no one asked in this session. Usually people do, but let me just give you a heads up that you will get a recording of the session. So if there's something that was said that you missed, you will be able to repeat, right, and review it as you need later. So any final questions before we end today's training? While I'll give you a moment to perhaps think on your final question, I'm going to share my screen as we close out. All right, it looks like we don't have additional questions. Well, we thank you again for your time and attention. Many, many thanks to Adriana and Caitlin for the thorough, clear, and very exciting news that the Bridge platform provides. Someone caught me. We've got one question. Angelica asked, do you work in the Latin community? Are you asking, I don't know if it's more so about the
Adriana, do you
Bridge
want to?
platform or, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you wanna answer?
I'd like to understand that a little bit better. Do we work in the Latin community? Yes, part of, as a CDFI, our mission is to support Hispanic entrepreneurs. So we are extremely active in the Latino community. And for me, obviously, as a Latina, it's very close to my heart, so.
And what I was gonna say is we have various lenders like Adriana that work in, and they're very mission driven and work in various different communities. And honestly, that is a main reason why we love working with CDFIs, because a lot of their mission is to work in various different communities like that. So I think, Bridge does, but Axiom does an excellent job of making sure that they're working in various different communities, close. And Axiom is great because they're nationwide. So they're working in basically every community besides a few states.
Thank you both. And so before I continue, any final questions? Okay. Let's see. Oh, Angelica was asking about a Spanish webinar. Is that something that's available through Bridge by chance, Caitlin?
Not through Bridge. Adriana, do you guys at Axion offer any?
Yes, there's a lot of resources in Spanish on our website. So if you go to let's see, maybe I can type here an answer. I think it's just put here the .org/resources. I think it is. No, let me see. I can never remember. It's terrible. No, I should know this by now. But I never. It's because isn't that crazy? Because I don't know the URL by heart. That's terrible. I want to make sure that I'm. There we go. Yeah, I was right. Okay, so it's AOF Fund. Let me write it here down in the chat. .org/resources. So.
And you see Angelica's second question, Adriana, that about gathering, if she could gather 50 people for
a webinar.
I'm thinking so. Is that
Well,
right?
let's do this, Angelica. First, if you're looking for tools and resources in Spanish, you can go to the link that I just provided, which is aoffund.org/resources. There you will find a lot of interactive webinars and articles and all the tools that you might need for you to find whatever it is that you need, right? And there's a calendar of events, there's a calendar of webinars. So visit that. And if there's any questions, there's obviously an email there for you to be able to contact us. And you can email us with specific questions around what you're looking for. And I'm sure someone from the organization will be able to respond. I hope that answers.
Thank you, Adriana, and thank you, Angelica, for the questions. And it looks like that's it for, let me make sure no one raised their hand. Okay. So as you can see on the final slide, we've come to the end. Please contact us for appointments if you're not already a client with us at the Illinois Small Business Development Center or SBDC at Build Bronzeville. You can reach out to us via email, website, and give us a call. But note, if you sign up to become a client, you will ultimately have to sign up through the website. So that is, I would say, your first point of contact. And then Bridge, you can reach out to Caitlin. Caitlin's email is listed there, as well as the website and a phone number.
Yeah. And Rebecca, I'll just add, I have Adriana's contact information as well. So if anyone has any specific Axiom questions, you can always just reach out to me and I can filter them on to Adriana. And also I can also share their website if that's helpful too.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And just a reminder that you will receive a follow-up survey about today's training. Please share your responses. We like to make sure we provide training that is relevant for business owners like you, that you could easily apply either immediately or, as you heard in today's presentation, some knowledge for you to keep in mind and to prepare yourself to be able to access a platform like Bridge. You will also have the ability on that survey to add potential topics that you could see us having for future training. Please share that, and you will receive the recording to today's session. You're very welcome. Thank you all for joining. We thank you for your time and attention, and continue to have a wonderful day and week. Thanks, many, many thanks again to Caitlin and Adriana for presenting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks, Caitlin.
You're welcome. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.